So, when you hear about silent killers, we're usually talking carbon monoxide. We're talking high blood pressure, maybe a little natural gas. But this holiday season, there is a new silent killer, and with my platform, it's my obligation to warn you. I have to let you know about this diabolical debacle that's in our midst. Because this year, the silent killer is the Nintendo Switch Pro, a console that does not even exist. And I know you're probably saying, this is goofy. What are you talking about? Don't bring up the Switch Pro. But it's undeniable. There is a non-existent Switch Pro wreaking havoc through our Switch games this holiday season, and it's bad. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hit that like button if you're cool. Let me know what you think in the comments down below as I talk you through this, because it's driving me crazy. All right, we have seen great Switch games. We have seen games perform awesome. Nier Automata recently killed it. The Witcher 3 dominated with a massive open world. And yet this holiday season, in the 6th year of Nintendo Switch, we are seeing games that are struggle bussing. I'm talking about chugging and having performance issues all over the place. Well, here is my conspiracy theory hypothesis, and I think it is really coming to light. The Switch Pro is supposed to be out by now. I really think that's become evident based on the games that have released and how well or not well they've run. Right, look at the time of year, okay? It's November. The Switch OLED came out October 8th. The Switch Lite came out September 20th. Nintendo loves to put out their iterations towards the back end of the year, right before Q4. They didn't this year. Now, you may doubt the Switch Pro exists, but I promise you Nintendo is working on a new console. It doesn't exist yet, but they're working on it, and all signs point that this console should have been out this year. How do we know? Bayonetta 3, a game that prides itself and almost requires excellent performance, struggles more than ever. A game that is big, bold, and diverse more than any past Bayonetta, a Switch exclusive, and it can't really keep up. The backgrounds are dull as heck, and it seems like this game was expecting more. Although they've known about the Switch for 6 years, so why were they expecting more? Oh, because there was supposed to be a Switch Pro. Now let's look at another game. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. All right, this is to be Nintendo's big game of the year. Maybe biggest of the past couple of years. Maybe biggest of the next few. Scarlet and Violet are going to be huge. Gen 9 in the same year as Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's impressive. And it's taking Pokemon open world. Early reports say that this game is struggle bussing. And we've seen in trailers like, wow, it's looking rough. And then all of a sudden it looked a little bit better. And now, according to leaks, the game is rough. How on earth would Nintendo have their biggest Switch title rough? They go open world, they're expecting more, they anticipate more power, better graphics, DLSS, and they don't get any of it. So we're left with a Pokemon game that's running on antiquated hardware, and it can't quite keep up. Now, there might be patches, there might be fixes, but from what I'm hearing, this game is running rough. That's Nintendo first party, and then that's Nintendo exclusive Bayonetta 3. We can look at other games like Sonic Frontiers, which promise to be day and date on Switch from the get-go. That game runs so rough. And it really feels like these bigger, more open-ended experiences, we're counting on more technology, a better unit to make the games purr. Because why in the 6th year of Switch would you try something that you really didn't think could work? Why would you try something out that you've had 6 years to prove isn't really possible? By this time in a normal console life cycle, you're just hitting it. You're bowling strikes, right? You're throwing bullseyes. You know exactly what the hardware can do, and most importantly, exactly what it can't do. And yeah, there's some little tricks of the trade you could pick up from some of the port houses that nail it, but you know. And Nintendo knows. And they have the money, they have the time, and they have the talent to make this stuff work. I also take a look at a game like Marvel's Midnight Suns, a game that was initially surprisingly promised on Switch, vanished. Now the game was delayed, but it's coming out this year, December 2nd, and the Switch version is 2023. Now Marvel Midnight Suns is a tactical card-based XCOM style game, but it looks really nice. It looks really nice, it's got great effects, and people were surprised it was going to come out on Switch until it didn't. Why not? Well, I believe that there was supposed to be a Switch Pro that Marvel Midnight Suns was going to run on, and now it's been delayed till who knows in 2023 when this system eventually, maybe, probably, hopefully comes out. Let's look elsewhere. Alan Wake. A game that released October 20th on the Switch this year and runs like dog doo-doo. How on earth? Maybe it's a poor port job. Maybe one or two of these are just an anomaly. Just bad luck, didn't work out well, they missed the mark. But when you take into account all of these games that have released from the end of October until December, and they all are having issues, they all are struggling, or they're not even coming out at all, it tells you something's going on. This should be the time where the Switch games shine. And how often do you hear about Nintendo first-party games performing poorly? I know Pokemon isn't like the graphical showpiece of the entire industry, but performing poorly? Nintendo nails their games. They run. They know their systems. So why on earth is it failing them now? I'm telling you, it's because the Switch Pro was supposed to be out this year, and countless games and experiences are being negatively impacted by the fact that they have to squeeze themselves onto worse hardware. Now, how did they make that happen? Well, it's because the systems are going to be cross-compatible. Everything is going to work on both, right? The Switch Pro is where they look and play the best. That's what they'd love to show off. That's what they'd love to advertise, but it'll still work on your Switch. So these games still run in the same way that they can get Halo Infinite up and running beautifully on an Xbox Series X, but it has to crawl all the way back to an Xbox One, and it's a real different story. Nearly a different performance tier. I mean, absolutely the worst way to experience the game, and that's what we're seeing on Nintendo Switch. We are undeniably seeing a world where our games are not playing as well as they could play because of the global situation with chip shortages, release schedules, shipping, and more. Some people believe that the OLED was actually supposed to be the Switch Pro, and instead they used a stopgap with brighter technology and a little bit bigger screen. And I love my OLED, but it sure doesn't bring more power. And then this year, nothing. Zelda is coming out next year, and you might even include that and say Tears of the Kingdom probably should have been out this year. It wasn't. Because goodness gracious, we know that Aonuma, Miyamoto, and Furukawa, Doug Bowser as well, they will not let the sequel to the best, biggest Zelda flop. And it would never flop sales-wise, but I'm talking about performance. You're not going to go into a Zelda review and see that it doesn't perform well. And so I really confidently believe that we'll be playing Tears of the Kingdom on stronger hardware. And I believe that games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Bayonetta 3 will play much better on next year's Switch Pro. Call me crazy, it could be completely wrong, it is just conjecture, but I do think we have enough examples now that it's not just pie in the sky Nostradamus thinking. It really is clear that the games that released this holiday season for Switch, we're expecting more power. We're expecting a stronger system, and they don't have it. And so they still have to come out. They'll still sell well. People know it's the Switch. They're not expecting some PS5 level prowess. But there's no reason that Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Sonic Frontiers, Missing Midnight Suns, Alan Wake, and even include Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, all of them affected by the silent killer. All of them considerably worse in a year and a time where the Switch games should all be purring right along. Let me know what you think, because I believe the Switch Pro is going to change a lot of discourse for Switch. I think it's going to really rewrite how some games run, and I think that's going to be just a whole interesting research period of its own. Like, okay, how does Xenoblade Chronicles 3 run here? How does Splatoon 3 run here? How does Bayonetta 3? But we'll find out eventually. And if there's no Switch Pro, then I don't know. The Nintendo developers just decided to forget. They tried to push the technology and they couldn't quite get it. But typically, that's not the Nintendo way. And that's why I find this so strange. Pushing beyond the means, no. Nintendo is like, find what you can do within the means, add on gimmicks if necessary, and create a picture-perfect game with your technology that makes the others look silly. Not have your exclusives kind of stink. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you agree that the Switch Pro is the silent killer this holiday season without even existing. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, love you lots. SwitchForce out.